Hey, Stay. How's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good. I'm uh, having fun just messing around with the Apple Vision Pro this week.
Yeah, I bet that's a treat.
Yeah.
How have you been handling it?
Well, so far it's my first ever like VR device I've ever had. I didn't have a Quest or any of the other ones, and I still haven't like gamed on it aside from some basic demos just to see how they work, like Balloons TD6, or there was like a music game where you're like moving to the rhythm kind of thing. Um, but mostly I tried like working on hardcover with it, and that was
Yeah.
I had some mixed results with that.
Okay. How come?
uh, well, for one, like I realize I'm not like 100% a touch typer, and there's something about like using the camera and like looking down at my keyboard to work, and it's enough friction that it's not fun to look down at the keyboard.
Yeah, I bet. So you had like the virtual keyboard as well, not like the actual keyboard.
No, it was a real keyboard. So yeah, I
Oh,
wasn't.
okay, gotcha.
The virtual keyboard is much worse.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, it didn't look from the demos I've seen. It didn't look like particularly like usable at
Yeah,
all.
I have a feeling maybe if you like put it down right on a flat surface, and then you're not using your eyes to do it. You're like typing with your fingers, maybe. But yeah,
Yeah. Might be an acquired skill. I don't know. I mean, I've had trouble like adjusting to phone keyboards as well, but I've seen younger people, let's say, like really type the hell out of that. So those are some skills I definitely don't have. So yeah, I imagine with the virtual one, I saw people like doing lots of this kind of thing, but it seemed like pretty shaky.
yeah. I think like there's like the immersive mode, so you can like dial in how much you want to be able to see your background, and if you dial that all the way in, you can't even see your hands on the keyboard. So it's like you
Oh
have to
wow.
be really good at touch typing, and I've noticed that like I have one of the Apple keyboards with like the really like these things with the very
Okay.
thin
Yeah.
letters. So it's kind
Uh
of
huh.
easy for your hands to get lost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been considering getting one of those like split keyboards.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. Those should be like better. I mean, marginally better for coding, I guess. But I mean, yeah, it's like you've actually like did it a bunch. Did you have like neck strain or that kind of stuff? Does that happen?
Um, I didn't really feel neck strain. I think my eyes
Okay.
were a little dry because like you imagine like there's a bubble around your eyes and it
Yeah.
heats up over time with the screen. So
Oh yeah.
but I only noticed that a little bit. Like it wasn't like it was burning hot inside there even after 3 or 4 hours. Um, but I think it's probably good to take a lot of breaks, more than you probably think you need.
Yeah. Well, then again, it's good to do that while you're working as well. I try to like sit up as much as I can. Maybe grab a glass of water and that kind of stuff. But I mean, this would give you an extra incentive to do that, I guess.
Yeah, I was I was thinking about making like a sample app for it just to learn a bit about it. And
Uh
like
huh.
on my desk, I have this hourglass that I use for standing and sitting. So I was thinking about doing something like this in like 3D, and that's all it does. Dit and dit.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that
So
sounds great.
it would be a good
uh,
like learning app.
yeah, definitely. Can you like screenshot stuff while you're in VR? Like take a video of like what's
Yeah,
happening?
yeah, you can take a video or a
Okay.
screenshot.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, the immersive thing, like, really looked amazing. Like, dialing everything out when you need to get focused. That looked like a feature that I definitely would use. have you tried like reading on it? Like any apps that do that? Or I'm assuming they have Apple News and that kind of stuff.
Um, I tried like browsing Reddit on it and things like that for reading, but not so much like an actual book or like an ebook yet. But
Yeah, I'm wondering how that goes. I mean, yeah, tough to say if it's like good or bad. That's why I was a bit curious.
yeah, the one thing that I wanted to be able to do on it, where maybe you're able to put it on and then like look over your library and see like social information about each book. That's not possible today with the permissions that are available for developers. Like they've locked it down so you can't get like information on what the user is looking at right now.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So
So
you can't like do stuff like see your library or that kind of stuff, or is it more for like more sensitive private stuff?
it's more like you can't you like you as a developer can't see what the person is seeing in their real life. Like
Oh,
you
okay.
like they
Mm-hmm.
could take a photo and upload it, but you can't get a video feed to be able to work with that video feed.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, wow, it's only like not even, it's a couple of days out,
Yeah.
so I was remembering how, I mean, I don't even think I remember when the first iPhone was out. I've seen like that keynote a couple of times, and it's like amazing, but I think the first iPhone I had was an iPhone 8, and I was
Mm.
thinking, if someone would get like the eighth generation of this, the eighth generation I think is gonna be like in a whole other place than what it is now. Even Tim, even Tim Cook said that it's basically tomorrow tech today, and that's why it's like such a huge thing. And I think like they kind of like pushed it a bit earlier because Meta like placed the right bets as well. Zuck really like nailed it with the Quest. So yeah, I've seen they have a patent for it since 2007. So I've seen the patent, and it was actually connected to an iPod. So imagine that they were planning, and it was like really similar in shape to what they got out. But yeah, it was connected to an iPod. The patent.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The the thing that's probably like the most like one of the most wow things for me is just how easy and comfortable it feels to just use your fingers to like move things around in 3D space,
Yeah.
like just like this, like just like looking at things and dragging them is
Mm-hmm.
is like as easy as clicking on a window and moving it. In fact, it feels like it's even easier because like click like when you go to the corner of a window in like Mac OS and you wait for those like
Yeah.
diagonal arrows to show up before you resize it. It's a similar experience to that, except you see like a little corner, a rounded corner, and then you click when you see the rounded corner, and then you can just start changing the size.
Wow.
But that
Yeah.
plus like moving windows and being able to move them farther away and closer, it's like I feel like the bones of it are really good, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm wondering like what the killer app's going to be that people end up like everyone wanting to get. Like for the computers, it was like the internet.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're gonna wait a while until that's. I mean, it's still very, very, very early, so uh, I'd be surprised if like it gets like any kind of. I mean, I've seen people get hyped about very different things, and even all the people I've talked to. I mean, even you and I think are like really hyped about different parts of it. So that's kind of neat. But yeah, the gestures I think are mind boggling. I have to try one out at the Apple Store when they actually bring them to Europe. Uh, I think it's gonna be. I mean, it's not natural even when you're with a phone. The natural movement is just having stuff around you, as weird as that might seem, but I think in 2 years we'll be in a very different place than we are now. Like, considering it's weird to do this. I've seen people on the street. I don't know if they were paid or not, but I've seen like them get out of cars or like walking across a crossing and just like doing this with their arms with the vision on their head. That was fun. Yeah.
Man. Yeah. I haven't I have yet to encounter someone in the real world with it, but then again, it's been raining the last couple of days, so
Well, yeah. As soon as that stops, yeah,
I'm like go to a coffee shop and bring it, and I don't
yeah.
think I want to be that person.
Well, I mean, I think it's gonna be way more present very soon. I mean, I kept thinking about, places where I have my hands busy, for instance, with a kid. So, it would be nice. Maybe not like a whole like thing on my face, but if it would be glasses, like Google glasses, man, that would be like, if it ever comes to being like that, that's gonna be like very, very, very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And reading is going to be, I think, pretty a very good use case because I'm trying to like read physical books with the baby, my like left hand book in right hand. And yeah, that, I mean, it does work. And I'm exercising my muscles as well, but like that's a 5 minute thing. Then you have to switch hands. He's reaching out to the book, which is fun, but yeah, not a thing, that's actually comfortable doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was actually thinking while I was doing that, man, if I could have like something like in front of
Yeah.
me without that, that would be like pretty neat. Or when you're sitting in your bed at night and you don't want to be like this with a book, or like, well, audiobooks, yeah, solve that. Maybe I have to get into audiobooks.
Yeah. Like the other day, uh, like my wife and I were just cuddling in bed. She was kind of asleep on my lap, and I had my Vision Pro on, and I was watching some videos on like Swift development, like, and I couldn't do that on a laptop because I didn't have space, and if I was even had an iPad, it would be like way over here awkwardly. This way, I was just
Yeah,
able to kind of sit back comfortably and just
yeah. I mean, there's plenty of ways. Yeah, that's like very, very, very useful. Airplanes are definitely like a thing I'd get it for. I mean,
yeah,
the next iterations are definitely gonna be like killer for. I mean, that for me would be like the killer. And I don't travel that often, but they would definitely change flights.
we're going to Korea in April this year, and I've been debating if I should bring it, but also not just for the flight, but because there are live language translation apps. So I could be like walking around and someone could be talking to me in Korean and it would be subtitled in English,
Oh wow.
which
Okay.
is really cool by itself. Aside from how
Yeah.
awkward I would be, and I wouldn't be able to respond to them in Korean. I would only be able to hear what they're saying.
Well, still, I mean, at least they figured out like one way of how the dialogue should go.
Yeah.
I think it's just like an implementation problem till they figure out the like talking back part. You could do that with ChatGPT. I'm learning French and I'm talking with GPT in French, and
Oh,
it's a
neat.
really messy process because yeah, sometimes I'm just like getting English words in there, and I'm just starting speaking French, and then I'm saying and yada yada yada, and how do you say whatever word, and yet it responds in French because yeah, that those were the initial instructions. But that's like a really good way. I think it's the best way. It beats Duolingo by far. Uh, so yeah, and I'm just doing that with the voice thing.
No. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't that's a cool use case. Does it seem pretty accurate? Like, has it led you down any inaccurate paths?
No, not really so far. I think for language, I mean, it's common conversation. I'm just like telling it how my day went, and I'm asking it to ask me stuff in French so I can reply. And the initial instructions were to correct me whenever I say something wrong. And I'm also doing that in writing. So whenever I type something, it tells me if I typed it incorrectly, and then it answers my questions. And it's surprisingly good at picking up context. So uh, if I'm trying to say something and I'm expecting an answer back, that's why I was saying it was messy, because I might have like first part of the sentence in French, the middle part in English, and the ending in French, and it can still like give me the word I was looking for or the phrase.
Yeah, that's
Not bad.
yeah, that's pretty impressive for a large language model.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like out there. I saw Duolingo like implement a special plan for like AI, uh, basically what I'm doing now, but I think they like pre-programmed it. But it's really good.
Nice,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I always think about like what are the other use cases to use something like ChatGPT for locally, but still it's not like the first tool I go to solve something. So yeah, it would be neat to try to think more about it.
Yeah, I've been using it a lot. I mean, maybe more than I should have, but it's yeah, exactly. I mean, you gotta figure out what to ask it. I think that's the that's the challenge.
Yeah,
Uh,
the watch demo that you made looked really cool. Like you
oh
created a whole
yeah,
like Apple Watch like app for hardcover, like prototyped it.
uh-huh, yeah,
How was
and
that?
that was like, well, that was like again, I don't know any Swift. I mean, I did a course like 3 years ago, but yeah, basically I don't know any Swift because stuff changed a lot since then. So I just asked it, and the cool thing is that you can share photos. So I didn't even like tell it about the errors. I just screenshotted the errors I had and the app structure and Xcode, and I pasted them in ChatGPT and asked it to generate. I also pasted the design, so I asked it to generate the app structure based on my design that I made in Figma, and then I just started debugging the errors. And I think it took about 3 hours to reach that point where it was. I made an app where you could see you're currently reading books, tap a book, and start a reading session, and end the reading session. And I mean, theoretically, the hard part would be to link it to hardcover, but I think if you know that if we actually like uh, saw a major use in building that, which I mean, I'm not sure it exists yet, but would just take like the data linking, because the interface was really, I mean, and for something which I had no idea how to build, I mean, it went great.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's really cool.
yeah. I think the trick is being like in really insists on getting an answer, because sometimes it's just horrible. It just like doesn't do stuff, and it could potentially give you uh, answers based on older documentation. That's like the problem, and you get some errors saying that's deprecated, for instance, and you have to
Mm,
tell it, well, browse the latest documentation and give me like what's the code for the latest version, and it does that. But yeah, you really have to like grab it by its neck sometimes.
man, yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Well,
Yeah, and should we jump to the build session for the
yeah,
reading
sounds
journal?
good. Let's go.
Yeah. So last week should we do let's do a recap for what we did last week. Maybe we can you can bring up the chart. So we
Yeah.
started planning out the reading journal, which is a way for readers to add notes for a book as they're reading it or before they're reading it or after they're reading it. So basically, it's your journal for that book. And yeah, this is what we mapped out last time. Lots of stuff in there.
All these different post types, kind of where this would show up within hardcover, potentially from like your own journal page or from the book page, and be able to click over to it real quickly from the books you're currently reading were kind of some of the takeaways that I had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are good. So basically, when I think the mm, most useful use case would be like when you're reading and you just want to submit a quote or a note so you don't forget something or you want to come back to it, and you just go on the app in your currently reading, you tap the book cover, and you're just you jump into writing the note, and then you can post it.
Yeah,
So I think,
exactly.
yeah, should we jump in and build that today?
Yeah.
Try actually designing it?
Yeah, let's see how far we can get in a half hour for something like that.
Yeah, sounds great. Okay, so let me share my screen, and here's the Figma tab. Where is it? Here we go. Okay, so here we go. Uh, as you can see, we did some preliminary stuff that consisted of taking some recommendations from our roadmap to see how a journal could look like. This is actually like done by our readers, which we thank for like giving us so thorough suggestions. It's really helpful. And I also brought this thing in because we kind of had a history over here that I was thinking we could maybe integrate with this, but I'm not so sure. So the starting point for me was just bringing a bit of data in. I was trying to see. So when your entry point is the actual book, let's say you're reading the Battle of the Songbirds and Snakes, um, maybe you would go journals, and here you would see your journal, and maybe then you'd see other people's journals, and that was like, so this would be yours and this would be someone else's. But this was like only the first thought I had for this entry point, and I want to ask you, Adam, do you think this is a valid, let's say, way you navigate to your journals? Were you imagining it the same way?
Yeah, I think this is kind of how you would navigate if you were not so much looking for your own journal, but if you were looking for someone else's journal. Like I could see jumping straight to your journal straight from the book button. Um, but
Something like this, right?
yeah, not sure exactly, but some way of getting there straight from there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, that sounds good. So maybe let's bring in the book button as well. So we have that. Here we go. So this would be the book button on mobile, and which one's the latest? Let's say this one. When you have no status, or let's say this one, and it would be somewhere, maybe under update progress. If you're currently reading, you could have something that brings you to your book journal.
I
But
think, yeah, I think
yeah,
the status or like the journal could exist whether, regardless of what status it's in, whether it's something you've never encountered before, or something you're reading, something you've already read. So
okay. So let's say you have no status, which is no status. This one. You're saying basically add another thing in here, which would be uh, add log or reading journey. How should we name it? It should be like a status, right?
I don't think it would be a status because uh, you could have a log regardless of what state your book's in. So I'm kind of thinking about
Mm,
it almost like the same way we have like a writer review and dates read.
uh-huh.
Um, we could have like reading journal as well. So I'm thinking like here's a here's what it looks like on production right now for that.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking something almost like in this middle area. This is kind of like your
Mm-hmm.
your state for this book. It feels like it's related to these three in some way more than anything else,
Yeah, that's right.
aside from maybe
Maybe
the
we should
update
put.
progress at the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds good. I was thinking maybe we could combine it with like you're either writing a review, but that's like after you finish the book, or you're adding an update to the journal that's like either before or during reading the book. So would it make sense to combine it so that the write review would be like the last step in like part of your reading journey? So you're like maybe submitting a reason why you want to read the book, then you start reading that book, then you post updates as you're reading the book, and then when you're finished with the book you write a review. Is there any other order that would like be more accurate to that process?
No, I mean that sounds right. Sometimes they might skip from no status to I'm writing a review, like, and then that would kind of.
Hmm.
But I think that would work for what you described as well.
Yeah, would I think it would be like the problem here with that it would be a bit unclear if like we skip this write review and just like put a journal in there, add to journal, and then I mean they'd have to both be there, right? So I was thinking like write a review could be add to uh, like add journal entry or something like that. Yeah, write a review I guess should be there as well.
What about something like um, and then
Okay.
and then
I like that, yeah.
without the right button, so it's clear. It's like going to a new page,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not bad.
but then we'd still need like the. I feel like this isn't a replacement for add a review. It's more of a supplementary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
So
how we can do this without adding a new item, but I'm not sure.
it's already like a long, yeah. I mean, then again, it's really functional, so you can do everything from this button. Hmm, that's that's the tricky part. So we still have right to review over here, but we'd also have open reading journal. Maybe we can put them side by side somehow without, I mean, or have one underneath the other. Um, would there be a more subtle way of doing that? Maybe just like having an icon that people can associate with the reading journal. Let's see. Do we have a journal in here? No, we'll have to. Oh, we don't have a journal. Let's just put this for now. So this is your reading journal. Um, yeah, it should say open reading journal, or maybe reading journal and have some updates next to it. Uh, this,
Or well, another option is that so this would be a bigger change, but we get rid of dates read altogether from here, and we
mm-hmm.
add that as reading journal dot dot dot, and then
Yeah.
on the reading journal page, that's where you enter your dates read. So you're not entering dates read um, in a pop up.
Mm-hmm. We've seen people have trouble with that, so I'm all for that. I don't know if I mean, let's see. Uh,
It does get really hard to select an edition in the pop up. Like
yeah,
that is
it does.
that
Yeah.
that to me is like the hardest part of the whole experience in within the entire book button, within every window within the book button. Selecting the edition for dates read is the hardest
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Yeah. Let's then take it out and put it in the journal. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, and we could still
That's a
have it
whole
on
new
the
page. Yeah.
book page as well to set dates read there, because that's a standalone page as well. But as like a quick one if you don't want to go to your journal. But
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
plus, I mean,
yeah,
the feedback from people was that editing their dates read was more like a bulk action they do on the list page. So adding that functionality and making it like really easy to do that from your library. So from your read books, if you are on the list page, just being able to change the dates read from there, I think that would be like, yeah, the easiest way to change these. Because when you're reading a book, yeah, it doesn't make sense to have that there.
yeah, I think I think that's sounding like the best solution for how to get there or how to integrate it into this button. And then that journal page becomes kind of like the hub for your reading journey. But I guess the only concern I would have is if people would know, like when they open up the book button, when they see reading journal, if they would know that's where they go to edit and create their dates read.
Hmm. Yeah, good question. Maybe if we make this icon on the calendar, it would make it like a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Um,
Or
so
we just
that,
say like
yeah. Well, I'm not a big fan of that.
that's a lot of text. Yeah, that looks
Yeah, plus it's two things, and like one
mm,
button should say and do one thing. Even if, I mean, it can be a temporary thing, but then again, yeah. maybe, I mean, it's pretty similar to how it is now. So I think people would associate it with the same thing. I mean, readers who have gotten used to doing that on hardcover, they just like tap that and see they have their dates read over there. So I'm guessing this wouldn't be like such a big challenge. Uh,
Yeah, I was looking for how to move that one over to the side, but I guess that means you need 2 frames.
oh yeah, unfortunately,
Ah,
it's
yes.
exactly as it is in code.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
yeah,
this visual language that like if it has a little arrow on the right, it means it's opening within this window. If it has dot dot dots, it means it's taking you to another place. And if it doesn't have either of those, it means it's just, you know, changing
a
something
toggle.
right here on the
Yeah.
button.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really clear. Yeah, well, this is like a good entry point to the reading journal. Really easy to access,
Hmm.
so it would definitely be, apart from like clicking it from your currently reading, the next like very fast way of getting here.
Yeah. And so that would potentially take you to this page, right? This is kind of the placeholder
Yes,
for
sorry, I
your
just
reading journal.
dumped like, yeah, exactly. So this would be like some updates that you could be submitting as you're reading the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So some would be like this one. This would be a quote, and some would be just text as you're reading through the book. So for this, I was thinking like, what do you think like each update needs? Because my thinking would be that it would need the page number, so, or the progress. So this would be either like this or like this, or like this for other books. And then maybe you'd have like when this was posted. I'm not sure if we should have like the avatar on each one of these. Maybe it can just be like up top somewhere. I'm just putting
Yeah.
it there.
Having it at once makes sense to me too.
And for these, if your journal is public, you could have these that would be like, let me see, it's like separate places. Sorry, this is a bit of a mess, but that's just how design is at this phase. Um, so you'd have this, and maybe you'd have like an icon that makes your settings accessible. I'm trying to anticipate like what people would want when they're on this page. So apart from the page, the actual content, when it was posted, and the replies, what else do you see as like vital to uh, have on the like the update page? Let's make this a little bit more. So
Um,
this would be like,
so yeah, maybe for V1, we could even get rid of the replies since we probably won't have discussions for it.
yeah, yeah,
And
that's
then
true.
I'm thinking, oops, I'm just going to move these down so we can get one of them like fully
Yeah.
flushed out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm thinking for here, it's like what I was imagining too is something like um, added a note, something as
Okay.
simple as that, where it's like, yeah, like that.
I did the note 2 days ago.
And then maybe like, um, let's see, what's a good note one? Yeah, and that way it always shows like the type of thing it is. It's like added a quote, added a note.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And this could be a note.
And what would you think about this being like down here and this being like the first thing?
Oh yeah. Looking good.
And yeah, I like that there. Let's see. The other things we had
Here.
on our what should you be able to do? One of them was like a controls kind of thing, like a
Okay.
like a copy to my reading list, flag.
Yeah.
So
Is it dots?
it is. Is it vertical dots? Ellipsis
Dots.
dash vertical.
Ellipsis dash. Oh, what isn't this supposed to be? I think I was going for horizontal, but yeah, that's good. Let's see how this is going.
And then like that could include like reports.
Let me get the nice drop down from somewhere. Here. Everybody, it's our designs. This one. Or get from the lists we're making. So over here, there we go. It's a nice looking one.
Wow, it is snowing out here now.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Again.
yeah. Looks can't even see 2 blocks away.
Oh Jesus. I mean that that intense.
Yeah, came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Copy to my log would just duplicate it to your log.
Yeah, I'm thinking like if you're looking at someone else's reading log of a book, you could
Mm-hmm.
like copy it to your log, so you have like it's kind of like you see a quote that you like, you kind of copy it to your log and it shows up.
Okay. Should it show the original one, kind of like a repost,
It might
or
be.
or just like copying it?
I think I'm thinking like copy, because that way, if the owner of this deletes their account or if they delete that
Yeah,
log entry,
that's
you
true.
still want it.
Yeah. So copy to our log. Small, I guess. And yeah, definitely other icons in there.
Let's see. What about
Something like that. Oh, trash.
no, flag probably?
Perfect. There we go.
And then if this is yours, you would only see delete. If this is someone else's, you would see report and copy to your log. That's kind of what I was
Okay.
thinking.
Yeah, this is looking good. I'll just put it here so it doesn't sit over that. Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah. So let's see. For this note, I'm trying to think if there's like anything else that's like really important to show. Maybe like we talked about having like mentions for like characters and things like
Oh
that.
yeah. What do you think those could look like? Should we just go for something like have their names in bold, or maybe have the profile picture in there as well? So let's see, this would be like a character. Jules in there. Not Lucy Gray, it's Jules. So something kind of like this. Do you think it would be too distracting?
I think that'd be cool. Like it makes it clear it's like a hardcover specific thing, not a just a generic link.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our the initial thing I'm thinking about is like, yeah, this for a book, this would show the cover. For an author, this would show their avatar. For a
Mm-hmm.
character, it could probably show. Well, we could probably show like 2 different or 3 different avatars depending on that character's gender, like male, female, or
Yeah, true. Mm-hmm.
both or all. Kind of like a unknown. Kind of like a. I guess we probably need 4. One where we don't even know anything about the character, and one where it's one of the other
Yeah,
3.
exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can definitely make placeholders for all of those cases. And I'm wondering, I don't have like any other book mentioned, but yeah, this looks great.
Yeah.
Should these be? Yeah, no, they're okay. I was wondering if they should be like the different color or just like in bold. Let's see. Does it look too distracting? Actually, I think I like it better this way.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, what about the yellow, but then not bold?
Let's see. It kind of like broke the
Mm.
rhythm of. Well,
Hmm.
yeah. Maybe it's good it stands out. I'm not sure. Let's leave it like that, and maybe we can decide when we actually code it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking maybe we could also show the number of mentions, but you're gonna see them anyway, right? So yeah, maybe this is redundant.
Yeah. And yeah. Let's see. I'm looking at my notes to see if there's anything else. Um, oh yeah, one thing. I guess it's kind of less at the single level and more at the entire journal level is like um, something like privacy for it.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe this would be like you could access the settings for
Mm,
uh, journal settings, and it would just be like for this for the journal for this book. Would that make sense?
yeah, that'd be cool. So
Or we could just. Is there anything other than privacy that we need in here, like realistically?
hmm,
Because we could
mm,
just.
mm, mm. I don't think so. Maybe I'm trying to think like delete all. Like if you want to delete your entire journal for a book.
Yeah, maybe we could have a button for that. I'm thinking if it's just like privacy, we could do something like this. And yeah, maybe make it smaller, and this would just like be trash icon, and it would maybe have like a confirmation dialog, or yeah, maybe we could just like put it in journal settings. So it doesn't take up a lot of space. Yeah, we can even like dim this down.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Dim this down as well. This. Yeah, not bad.
Oh yeah, and like a little, what is it? Like a little caret drop down at the end.
Oh yeah.
You'll probably get there faster.
There we go. So
So yeah, this is already looking pretty cool.
yeah, it's not bad. What do we have in the chart that's we haven't covered? Because I mean, oh, it's the quote. I wanted to see if so. Let's say this is a quote. So maybe we'd add it with different background. But my question here was, or actually, I did this. Did this. Um, what's happening over here?
Let's see. Can I put this in here? Can you drop a PDF in? No, you can't drop a PDF. Like, can Figma use a PDF? No. I'll convert it to a JPEG.
Yet. I was thinking if you want to add a note and you want to tie a quote to that note, would that be...
Sorry.
No worries. It would actually have been useful to add the quote. So let's say you want to add this quote, but you also want to add this to the quote. Would we allow that, or you'd have to add it as a separate note? Because I mean, this relates to the quote, and let's see. Quotes. Okay, actually worked.
Yeah.
Should we allow this, like formatting something as a quote, so you can insert it in the along with the note that is related to that? What do you
Let's
think?
see. So we could do that. I think the tricky part is that then it becomes harder for someone to like, well, maybe not harder. Like if someone just wanted to copy the quote to their reading log, now they're copying the quote plus someone's like comment about it, which they might want to do. Or this could be two different things. It could be like a quote and a note like separately,
Yeah.
but then that's kind of two different boxes.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking. So if you want to like say something like this, so add a quote and then like your notes on it. If it would be like two separate things, so if you'd have like this, and then this, I'm thinking you wouldn't associate the two.
Yeah.
So it would be like two separate things, which would be cool. But I was thinking, even for the editor to do it like Discord does, so it would allow you to select some texts and style it as a quote, and then write some stuff of your own. And maybe, I mean, I don't know if would be doable. Maybe for copy quotes, copy uh, all or do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would be possible. Yeah. And
But would it be clear? Would it make things like fuzzier?
yeah, I think, yeah, I think the way that that could work, I guess, it comes down to how well we implement the editor for this to make it clear. Like, like, are you foreseeing it as like two separate, um, like text areas, one for the quote and one for the like the comment on the quote, or like,
Oh no, I do it exactly like Discord does it.
hmm,
So you wouldn't have to pre-select if something is a quote. You just like paste it in the editor, select the text, and style it as a quote. And
yeah,
it could potentially just be this, or if it's a quote, we could like apply different styling. So if it's just the quote, we could make it like even more this we could make it even more like it could like stand out as just a quote. So maybe it's this, and I don't know, maybe it's like the quote is not that big, but
I just realized we probably need like an edit one here too.
oh yeah, true. So maybe it could be like quotes can something like this. I mean, not this in particular, but
Yeah,
and yeah,
and we probably need like like the potentially a reference for where the quote's from. That could be like a character saying it, or it could be
oh yeah,
a page number. But we have the page number at the bottom already.
yeah, maybe we also have the character in here somewhere. And yeah, points. This is important. So it's this one, and we should have it here as well.
And there might be like you know, you might have a quote that's like a paragraph, and it might have like a conversation between three or four people, and then you might have like four or five characters. So I'm thinking, what if
Yeah,
like the reference is
true.
like down at the bottom or something, where it's like
Yeah,
it's
so
kind of
if
like
it's
mentioned
like,
characters. Yeah,
yeah, if it's two characters, it can be like this, and it can have, if it's like longer, and two others, just as you know, they would talk in real life. What's another character from Katniss Everdeen? Is that it? Oh no, oh yeah, I think it's. Was it from this? Maybe. Oh,
yeah. Um,
um, yeah, good point. So this would be. I did the quote. So if it's just one,
yeah. Like as you're doing that, I'm thinking of a like another option.
yeah, just
Let me
duplicate it because yeah, I'm not
make a
happy entirely
copy.
with that either. Page could be over here. Done. And doesn't sit well at all over there. So just under the quote, and just do this. Okay, it's very empty over here. So maybe we can like style it in line if it has space. This is a very short quote, so this could work. We could just like set it to inline.
It feels like it's going to be rare to me that quotes are going to be that short that there's going to be enough space on the end of a line. Because
Yeah.
like if it's like a sentence, it's probably going to like wrap, and then the characters who are going to show up at like if it's like wrapped, they might show up kind of in the middle.
Yeah, well, if it's like more, yeah, let's let's just like put it like underneath and leave the page where it was to balance things out. And let's say this is long, so it's at least like that.
Yeah, that's closer to what I was in the middle of trying.
Here we go.
And yeah, that I feel like there's probably not going to be cases where there's going to be too many mentions, like a quote that mentions like 10 characters or something like that.
Yeah, let's put. I mean, it can take at least 4, 5 potentially. So yeah, I wouldn't be worried. I mean, that's an edge case, and more than 5, we can like do this and show it in an overlay. So I think that would be good, and it can be the same overlay that we use for like selecting characters when you type.
Or another way we could do it is like when you click 2 others, it just kind of replaces
Oh
it
yeah,
with
just
like
yeah,
just overlays these on top of it and gets rid of 2 others, kind of
yeah,
like expand text.
yeah, or just like pushes it down. Wait,
Exactly. Yeah. It'll just wrap to the second line and it'll just keep showing
yeah,
them.
I can do
Yeah.
this in Figma. So let's wrap this stuff. So I should do this. So it's like, oh yeah, I haven't. What have I done? Wait, I actually wanted to do this. So yeah. Yeah, this is looking great. I mean, I don't know. I think we could leave it at that and let it settle. And I think it's in a good point for us to start iterating.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think this is a good step. It's kind of it feels so familiar after everything we've already done with the discussions. It feels like we kind of started solving these problems. Now we're finishing solving them.
Yeah, I think it's easier because we like kind of did like the more complex version of that already. So I think the next step here would be to figure out the editor for this, which would be like a simplified version of what we already made. And yeah, I think this is, I mean, I can see like what else to add in here. Maybe just like optimize what we're not seeing now. But yeah, this
And
is good progress. Yeah.
probably some indicator of which book this is for, like whether that's using
Oh yeah.
the book header or it's using like the cover
Mm-hmm.
or like the mini header
Yeah,
instead
it
of the
could be
full
the
size
mini
header.
header. Yeah, it could be this.
I really like the mini header. Like I want to get the mini header in on all pages that are not the main book page.
Yeah, that'd be great. We can even like do some animations
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that when you scroll. And should we get the tabs in as well?
I think we could, and then we'd probably need some kind of yeah, like the back to
So
all. Well, maybe you don't even
yeah,
need back to all journals. Mm.
this. Yeah, it could. So yeah, it would just like be inactive. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's
Or we could
a good. Yeah, I think I like
just
the.
the
Well,
tabs.
I think I like them.
Yeah, basically when you see all journals in here, if you tap on yours, it just like takes you here, and then you can tap journals again, and you can see all of them.
It's kind of like what happens when you go to a single review.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and maybe we should decide. I mean, this is a question for next time. Over here, this is like the latest update that you've posted, but let's see if it would make sense to show anything else.
Maybe the most liked update.
Oh yeah, or the most liked update. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
And
cool.
if you
Well,
would go there, you'd see this. Nice. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's.
this
I
is a
think
good spot.
that's yeah, that's good progress for one day.
Yeah, definitely. Nice. Well, this was a good session. Thanks everybody, and see you next week. Right?
Yep. See you next week. Or actually,
Have a good
next
one.
week's going to be Valentine's Day. Do we want to
Oh crap!
do
Yeah,
we want
that's
to skip
true.
next week? And
Yeah, let's keep next week, and everybody get ready for Valentine's Day. Go with your loved one and celebrate. And yeah, we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
sounds good. Well,
Perfect.
bye. Talk to you later.
Have a good one. Bye.